All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit, it's been a minute, more than a minute, but we've been having some issues with Shake and Bake that we finally got all cleared up. And we're gonna go through all of them here in a minute. But my first thing I want to do is give a huge shout out to HHP. They really stepped up and hooked those Shake and Bake up. So you'll see here in a few minutes, the brand new tensioner we bought got messed up. And I gave HHP the truth, didn't lie, didn't fib, gave them the whole spiel. And they went ahead, turned around and gave me another tensioner with nothing. So I didn't have to pay for anything. So that being said, just a quick rundown of the issues. Where'd you go, Bean? Where'd you go, Bean? There's Bean, folks. There's Indigo. You know, the dogs are really the star of the show around here anymore. Everybody wants to see the dogs. But where we're at, we had a belt issue. That belt issue led to not only the tensioner issue, but also an issue with the damper. And I think I get into it. If not, I'll definitely get into it, exactly what we did and didn't do in the wrap-up. All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. We're out here today. We're looking at Shake and Bake. We're looking at Shake and Bake. Shake and Bake's having a problem. We're having a problem that we're gonna get fixed. Mike the mechanic's on his way over here to hopefully help me with this fix. We're gonna go ahead and pop the hood and we'll show you what happened. Right there is what happened. You see this? There ain't no belt there. Here's the belt. Back side is good.
I'm not sure I understand.
The front side, my watch is talking to me. The front side, you can see looks like it possibly could have been rubbing against something and rubbing the top of the belt. So Mike's gonna do a good healthy check. We're gonna see, we think the major problem though is the belt was too short. So we got a longer belt and he's bringing the tools that we're gonna need to do this. We'll go over the tools and everything when he gets here and get to putting on this new belt. All right, folks, we got the doctor making house calls. Here comes Dr. Stark making house calls.
Making house calls now.
Making house calls now. Oh gosh, he's in trouble now. I know that he can make house calls now. He's in trouble. But we're gonna take a look at this real quick, see what we think the issue is and what may have happened. Mr. White, bam! I got it on camera now. All right, let him talk about this real quick, and then we'll bring you guys back on. All right, so I think we may have found the culprit. So if you look, it is hard to see. If you look down in here, there's some belt hanging off. If you see that belt down there hanging off, it's wrapped around
a clamp.
It's wrapped around a hose clamp. So that hose clamp must have been too close to the belt, and when Don got a little heavy-footed, it must have just pushed the belt far enough to scrape up against that hose clamp, and oh, he got a bunch of that stuff out.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So
she wrapped around that tensioner.
Yeah, it's all wrapped around the tensioner, and it's just a mess. Don made another mess of things. So, you know, Don's problems usually aren't super hard.
Usually.
This one's probably the top of my list right now of hard things that Don's screwed up. But yeah, we're getting there. So we're gonna pull that stuff out. We're gonna look and see if we can move that hose clamp. Hopefully we can move that hose clamp, spin it around, get it out of the way so it's not tearing up another belt, and we'll see what happens. So he did say that first belt was a little tight. So like I said, I got a little longer belt. It's roughly almost a half an inch bigger. So hopefully that's not too big. Not too big. We're gonna test it out, put it on the car, see how it does, and then I'll come back, put a picture of the part number and the company that I went with. I didn't go with another Gates. I went with Dayco. But we'll put that up there once we get it on and see if it works. Folks, it never ends. It never ends. So literally the tensioner we just got, I don't know, you can't really see it. Let me get back over. If you can see down in there,
That's no good.
where, all right, there, I think it, right up here, you can see I'm wiggling the tensioner.
Yeah.
So probably the bearing, that stuff got wrapped up in there. The belt was still, obviously must have been trying to run, pushing it around, got it too hot, and just wore out the bearing. So
I'm out.
another new tensioner it is. So Mike thinks he's got the stock one we took off. We're gonna put that back on, and well, we're gonna go get it, put it back on, see if that works. So stay tuned, folks, more to come. All right, folks, we thought this was gonna be an easy one, turned into a hard one, just because there's, you can see, hopefully you can see, down in through here, there's like no room, you know, in between the fan and the hoses and everything we need to do. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna call AAA, use our roadside assistance. My belt broke, get it towed to Mike's shop in Annapolis, and we're gonna get it up on the lift and we're gonna get her fixed today. He's gonna look and see if he's got the stock tensioner. We'll put it back on there for now. It'll do for now, and then we'll look at getting picking up another HHP one. But let me get on the phone, let me get this over to Mike so we can get going. All right, folks, y'all seen Shake and Bake on the tow truck again for number 5. Wasn't meant to do this, but what we found out at the house needed to be towed. So y'all saw that belt was all wrapped up. The tensioner is terrible down in there. I know y'all can't see it. Try and give you an angle, but the tensioner is all tore up down there. So we're back in the shop. We're gonna put her on the lift. We're gonna get in. We're gonna put the stock tensioner back on there. Get Shake and Bake back on the road. Mike's doing his thing. Cameron's over there. Where is he? The boss, the supervisor is over there supervising. Yeah, and the supervisee, right? We're all supervisees at this point. But they're over there chilling. We're up underneath here. Once we get into something more interesting, we'll come back on. All right, up in here. Off comes the tensioner. Now that the fan's kind of out of the way. Am I in your way?
No, I wouldn't you.
Is this thing in the way? So once we get it out, I'll show you how bad it is. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's.
Yeah.
I would say that's pretty bad.
That's not good.
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It snapped it out pretty good.
Yeah.
HHP, I need a sponsorship, man.
There you go.
I need something. I need some help. I'll be hitting you up for another one of these in the future, because they are good tensioners. It's just the belt got wrapped up and around. It wasn't the manufacturer of that tensioner. It was just what happened with the belt and how it wrapped up around there and
You can see.
made it a pain.
You can see where the belt got hold of the clamp.
All right. Yeah. Now you can see it. Right there. See all that belt goop up around that clamp? That's Don's heavy foot putting a lot of tension on that belt and flapping and hitting that hose clamp. So we're gonna move that hose clamp out of the way once we get all the stuff off of it. We're gonna move that clamp out of the way, so hopefully this doesn't happen again. All right, so Mike, typically on a normal belt change, the only tool you'll need is basically a breaker, what, a 1/2-inch breaker bar?
Yeah, or a real long extension.
Or a long extension to be able to grab the tensioner, take the tension off the belt so you can put it on the pulleys. So now we're gonna show you exactly what I was just confusingly told you.
Usually get like a long handle.
So down in
Makes
there.
it a lot easier.
Take,
If I get the light out the way.
no, you're good. Oh, for you.
Yeah.
So pull the tension off the belt.
And then slide.
Slide the belt onto the pulley.
Oop.
Boom. And let the tensioner go and shebang.
Make sure everything's lined up. One rib on there. Under there. And we make sure, I always make sure that it stays on the tensioner right.
Little ugga-dugga here, little ugga-dugga there. Boom. Belt is on.
Several days later.
All right, folks. A few days later, actually, what? Just over a week later.
Yeah,
just over a week later. Just schedules didn't work out. Hey, it is what it is. So, like I said, we were having a little snafu last time. We got it figured out. But that snafu ran into another snafu. So we got that snafu figured out. And now we're just going through and putting everything back together. So as you see, we went ahead and took the whole front off. Figured that was just easier to do. Makes everything more accessible that we needed to get to. And I do want to give a huge shout out. I did it on the intro too. Huge shout out to HHP. They really did me a huge favor by go ahead and replacing the tensioner for free. I really do appreciate it. Huge shout out to them. So I've done quite a bit of purchasing from HHP. So great bunch of folks out there, and they'll definitely take care of you. But we got Mike the mechanic fixing things up, putting the fans back in. We just got the radiator and everything else just hooked up. We did a practice run with the belt. We went back with the same size belt as before. So we didn't go a 1/2 inch larger. We went with the same size belt and seems to work. The Procharger tensioner is right about in the middle-ish, kinda. So there's still room for tightening it up when the belt does stretch eventually. So we can tighten it back up. And then we got the supervisor over here bossing us around.
That's it.
He's pointing things out. He's like, "There, Daddy. Over there, Daddy. Don't forget that, Daddy." So he's keeping us on task. All right. So everything to wrap this up, folks. So what initially happened was the belt wound up hitting a hose clamp, in which it tore up the top part of the belt. Some of the fibers of that belt got wrapped up around into the tensioner and broke the tensioner. What I think happened is it got wrapped up in there, and the belt was still never snapped. So the belt was still physically in place. And I think it spun so much and got that tensioner so hot that the pulley popped off the tensioner. But again, shout out to HHP. They hooked me up. Again, awesome. Love HHP. I bought quite a few things from them. But anyway, that's for another story. So that's the belt and the tensioner. What happened with the ATI damper is we didn't quite get the clearance part of it correct. So we went back in, tore everything off, and Went in, recalibrated, redid everything on the ATI tensioner. And then what happened was the threads and the bolt, really both, going into the crank. It was tearing up the threads of the bolts, so it was acting like it was stripped. So luckily enough, what we did is we went, Mike got a 14 by 150 tap set. Went in, cleaned out those threads, cleaned everything out, and lo and behold, luckily enough, that fixed it. And we got everything back on. Everything is tight. Matter of fact, I told Mike, said, hey, that engine eventually is gonna go, so Loctite that bad boy in there if you have to. So he did put some Loctite on there to make sure that's not coming off, nothing's gonna happen. So we got Shake and Bake back up, fixed, ready to go back to the dyno. Let's see, this is Monday. I'm gonna put this up Monday night. I'm gonna go do the video now, so put this up Monday night. Hopefully Dave can squeeze me in sometime during the week. If not, I got penciled in for Friday, so that will be next Monday's video. Will be the dyno video of redynoing Shake and Bake with the ATI damper, in which we can compare stock damper to the ATI 18% overdrive damper. So that's going to be a good comparison video. So you guys are not going to want to miss that one. But that's going to do it for this one, folks. If you're stopping in for the first time, hey, please check out the rest of the channel. If you like what's going on with the channel, like those videos, smash that subscribe button, smash the bell, shoot me a comment, share it on your social media. I definitely appreciate it. Shake and Bake definitely appreciate it. And let's keep going. We're up over 5K. Next one, 10K, folks. We're shooting for 10K. All right. Until next video, folks. Adios.